As you get older, have you noticed that socializing feels more like a chore than a pleasure? You're not alone. As we age, it's completely normal to feel less inclined to attend social events or engage with large groups of people. It can sometimes feel confusing or even concerning, as if something is wrong with us. But here's the thing. It's actually a natural part of life, and it's something many older adults experience. Today, we're going to dive into why this happens. These tendencies are rooted in psychology, and understanding them will not only reassure you, but also help you embrace these changes with confidence. The good news? It's totally normal. We'll explore 6 surprising psychological reasons why you might avoid social situations more as you age, and why that's actually okay. But before we begin, comment 1 if you find this video relevant to you. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content like this. Now, let's into it. The very first reason is the increased value on time and energy. As we age, we naturally become more mindful of how we spend both. Gone are the days when we felt compelled to say yes to every invitation or attend every social gathering. Instead, we start to recognize that our time and energy are precious resources, and we must be more intentional about where we invest them. Psychologically, this shift is part of a natural adjustment in the aging process. The socio-emotional selectivity theory, a concept proposed by psychologist Laura Carstensen, suggests that as people age and perceive their time as limited, they begin to prioritize emotionally meaningful goals and relationships over more superficial social obligations. This means that, over time, older adults increasingly choose to focus on the people and activities that provide the most fulfillment and emotional satisfaction. For example, take Maria, a 72-year-old retiree who used to attend every family gathering and community event without question. However, over time, Maria realized that she felt more rejuvenated when she spent her weekends at home, reading, meditating, or simply enjoying quiet time with her immediate family. Her energy, once stretched thin, trying to fulfill all her social commitments, was now more directed toward activities that nurtured her well-being and peace of mind. This shift isn't just about avoiding social events, it's a healthy recalibration of priorities. Research has shown that older adults often begin to shift their focus from trying to please everyone or meet every societal expectation to investing in their personal well-being. A study by the National Institute on Aging highlighted that older adults often feel more comfortable choosing how and when they engage with others, understanding the importance of preserving their physical and emotional energy. The second reason is the decline of social expectations. As we age, societal pressures to maintain a certain level of social engagement often decrease, allowing us more freedom to make choices based on personal desire rather than obligation. For many older adults, the need to conform to social norms or meet external expectations fades, and this shift can lead to a natural reduction in social interactions. Psychologically, this reduction in social expectations is empowering. With retirement or the easing of career-related pressures, many older adults no longer feel obligated to attend every social event, gathering, or networking opportunity. The desire to please others or to fit into a social mold that may no longer align with personal values diminishes. Research has shown that as people age, they begin to prioritize quality over quantity in their social relationships. This is because, as our social roles evolve, we no longer need to maintain a wide circle of acquaintances or perform for others in the same way we might have when we were younger. Consider the example of Robert, a 75-year-old retiree who used to feel compelled to attend every social gathering with his old colleagues or neighbors. In the past, these events were important for maintaining his social status and identity. But now, Robert finds himself selectively attending only those gatherings where he feels he can truly connect with people. He no longer feels obligated to go simply because it's expected. Instead, he chooses to focus on relationships that feel meaningful, such as spending time with his children, close friends, and enjoying peaceful moments in his garden. The freedom from social expectations is actually backed by psychological research. According to a study published by the National Institute on Aging, as individuals grow older, they tend to place more value on close, meaningful relationships and less on broad social networks. This process, known as social selectivity, occurs as people realize that the number of social interactions is less important than the depth of the connections they maintain. The third reason is a reduced tolerance for superficial conversations. As we age, there is often a shift in how we value social interactions. Older adults tend to prefer deeper, more meaningful connections rather than engaging in small talk or shallow exchanges. This shift is part of a natural psychological adjustment and is rooted in socio-emotional selectivity theory, which suggests that as people age and perceive their time as limited, they place greater value on emotionally fulfilling relationships and experiences. Psychologically, this change reflects a desire for social interactions that bring joy, connection, and emotional depth. Research has shown that older adults often prioritize quality over quantity in their relationships, becoming more selective about the conversations they invest in. As a result, they may avoid situations where they anticipate conversations that feel trivial or don't offer a meaningful connection. This preference for meaningful interactions is not just a matter of personal preference, it's an adaptive coping mechanism that helps preserve emotional well-being. For example, consider the experience of Evelyn, a 68-year-old woman who has always been active in her community. In the past, she might have attended every gathering and participated in all conversations, regardless of their depth. But as she's grown older, Evelyn has realized that she values the deeper, more substantial conversations with her closest friends and family. She no longer feels the need to engage in lighthearted, surface-level chit-chat at every event. Instead, she chooses gatherings where the conversations are rich, meaningful, and emotionally rewarding. This desire for meaningful social interactions is supported by research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, which found that individuals, especially older adults, are often more satisfied with conversations that involve emotional support, self-disclosure, or shared experiences. They also report feeling more positive emotions in deeper conversations than in shallow ones. In addition, studies have shown that older adults tend to experience fewer negative emotions during interactions with family members, and their social networks tend to shrink, focusing on close relationships that provide emotional security. The fourth reason is emotional energy conservation. As we age, our emotional resources naturally become more limited, and this often leads older adults to become more discerning about the social interactions they engage in. Just as we become more mindful of our physical energy, we also begin to recognize the importance of protecting our emotional well-being. This shift is driven by a psychological desire to avoid draining or negative interactions that can lead to emotional exhaustion. Research has shown that older adults are often more attuned to positive emotions and prefer to engage in activities and relationships that enhance their emotional well-being. They tend to invest their emotional energy in relationships that are fulfilling and avoid those that are emotionally draining. This tendency can lead to a reduction in social interactions, particularly with people who may cause stress, conflict, or negative feelings. By conserving emotional energy, older adults can focus on nurturing relationships that bring joy and fulfillment, which is essential for maintaining a positive outlook on life. For instance, Consider the story of Tom, a 70-year-old retiree who used to spend a lot of time socializing with a wide group of acquaintances. Over the years, Tom has become more selective about who he spends his time with. He avoids gatherings where there is tension or drama and prefers to be with close family and friends who make him feel emotionally supported and positive. Tom has recognized that as he ages, he needs to protect his emotional well-being by limiting interactions that are emotionally taxing. This desire to conserve emotional energy aligns with psychological research, which indicates that older adults are better at regulating their emotions and managing stress. A study published in Psychology and Aging found that older adults tend to experience fewer emotional fluctuations than younger individuals, often due to their ability to avoid situations that cause unnecessary emotional distress. This process of emotional energy conservation is not only a natural adaptation to aging, but also a protective mechanism. It allows older adults to safeguard their emotional well-being by prioritizing relationships that provide genuine emotional support, and it helps ensure that they can enjoy their later years with a greater sense of peace and happiness. The fifth reason is changing social roles and priorities. As we age, significant life transitions, such as retirement, the loss of loved ones, or changes in family dynamics, often lead to a reevaluation of our social roles. These shifts can result in a natural narrowing of social interactions, with older adults choosing to focus more on the relationships and activities that truly matter to them. Psychologically, this change occurs because older adults tend to prioritize meaningful relationships and personal fulfillment over societal expectations or maintaining a broad social network. Research indicates that as people age, they often experience a reduction in the number of social interactions, but those they do maintain tend to be with people they feel closest to, such as immediate family, longtime friends, or supportive communities. This is a reflection of a shift from quantity to quality in relationships, where the focus is on deepening connections rather than expanding one's social circle. For example, consider Janet, a 74-year-old woman who, after retiring from her job, found herself spending less time with her coworkers and more time with her children and grandchildren. Over the years, her social circle shrank, but it became filled with the people who brought her the most joy and comfort. Janet realized that she didn't need to attend every social event or stay in touch with everyone from her past. Instead, she focused on nurturing the relationships that mattered most, those with her close family and a few dear friends. This shift in social priorities is supported by research. A study published by the National Institute on Aging found that older adults often experience a reduction in their social networks, and this narrowing of relationships is associated with greater life satisfaction. As people age, they tend to focus more on close-knit relationships that provide emotional support, companionship, and a sense of security. This process of changing social roles and priorities is not a sign of social withdrawal, but rather an adaptation to the realities of aging. Older adults naturally gravitate towards what brings them the most emotional fulfillment and support, and they often find comfort in spending more time with those who truly matter to them. This focus on close, supportive relationships helps ensure that they maintain a strong sense of connection, even as the size of their social network decreases. The sixth reason is the fear of losing independence. As we age, maintaining independence becomes a central concern for many older adults. This fear of dependency can shape social behaviors, leading individuals to avoid situations where they might feel vulnerable or reliant on others. The desire to preserve autonomy becomes a powerful motivator, often influencing decisions about where to spend time and with whom. Psychologically, the fear of losing independence is deeply connected to a person's sense of self and identity, For many older adults, being able to make their own decisions, live on their own terms, and manage their daily life without assistance is a cornerstone of their self-esteem. As a result, situations where they might feel obligated to rely on others, whether for help with transportation, healthcare, or even emotional support, can trigger a reluctance to engage socially. For example, consider Richard, a 78-year-old man who has always prided himself on his self-sufficiency. After his wife passed away, his children started offering to help him with everyday tasks, such as driving him to appointments or managing his finances. While he appreciated their concern, Richard found himself avoiding social situations where he might feel dependent on others, such as family gatherings, where he might have to ask for help. His fear of losing control over his life led him to limit his social interactions, even though he deeply valued his family's company. This fear of losing independence is well supported by research, which indicates that older adults often experience emotional distress when faced with situations that could compromise their autonomy. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that older adults who perceive a threat to their independence are more likely to experience feelings of helplessness and a reduced sense of well-being. The fear of losing independence also aligns with broader societal values, where independence is often seen as a key marker of success and personal dignity. For older adults, being able to continue managing their own lives is not just a matter of convenience, it's a crucial part of their identity and sense of self-worth. Therefore, any situation that threatens this independence, even if it's just a minor inconvenience or a perceived loss of control, can feel overwhelming. So, which of these reasons resonated with you the most? Do you find yourself making similar changes in how you socialize? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching.